Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got so many talented people in our field as distributors, and there's some really gold nuggets that can help propel all of us forward. What we're talking about tonight is setting up expos, doing booths, really having these public displays, so it's not where there's been any relationship before. So let's move on to Harlequin Murray, who also comes from Georgia. You know, all these years of being both a blood donor recruiter and then having her own products that she created and bringing them to the public. But then here's the thing about Harlequin. She was in Amway 25 years ago, and she was in a position where they had her present in the full stadium, right? With those thousands of people listening. So there's a lot that Harlequin brings as far as understanding what it takes to set up things, and from the very beginning to really growing a huge team. So Harlequin, I'd love for you to come on so we can begin hearing from you.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we
Awesome.
can. We can hear you, we can see you. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I truly, it's an honor to be asked. But no, as you said, I was in Amway years ago, and that's where I really learned how to talk to people, because they had a plan where you started with small, one-on-one, building up to speaking to a coliseum of 10,000. So, and I actually got excited about doing that. So initially, not so much, but by the time I made it to that point. But no, I have been doing events for...
But I just want to stop you for that 1 minute, because that's such a valuable point that I really want people to hear. You let yourself become the kind of person that could then present to 10,000 people. You didn't start out that way, but you let yourself evolve.
Yeah, what it is, I used to be super shy. Did not want to talk to...
I believe you, but it's not how I know you.
I know, yeah. But no, I started off small, and just in general, you can start off, some people, they don't feel comfortable setting up at a booth somewhere. It just scares them to death to have to be that vulnerable and talking to that many people. But the way I started out is, and this you can use for recruiting for anything, but I started out, if you're in line at the grocery store, turn around and talk to the person behind you. They can't run away. They're kind of stuck. And it can just be something as simple as saying, hey, how are you doing? And, oh, how's the weather? They always talk about, they always taught us, family, occupation, recreation, message. If their kids are there, oh, hey, how old are your kids? What type of work do you do? What do you like to do for fun? And you have to choose one of those based on your setting. And, once you develop a rapport, you go to your message. Hey, I'm actually looking for some stay-at-home moms that would like to earn an extra income. Or if they mention that they hate their job, well, are you open to making money in a different way? Or, if they like to travel, well, we have the opportunity. We can travel to anywhere in the US, Canada, Australia, Malaysia, Philippines, and we can build our business wherever we want.
Right.
It gives us an opportunity to travel and earn an income. one of the other things is if you notice that they have some sort of a physical challenge, shall we say, you can talk about product as well. But, you know, if somebody is sitting there saying, you know, I hate my job, it's like, you know what? I wasn't happy with mine either. And this is what, you know, so I feel where you're coming from. And this is what I found. I found this amazing organization where I can make phenomenal money. And like Mary said, it kind of depends upon the situation. Sometimes they will say something that kind of opens up the door. Or you can lead them in that direction. It's like, oh, well, you know, you're at home right now, you have a newborn baby. Are you going back to work soon? Do you really want to do that?
How do you like bring that into getting their contact information?
Well, when you're in line, you don't have very much time. Right. And that you're kind of catching them totally off guard. So have your business card ready. I always carry 3x5 cards in my purse. And I'll say, you know, hey, I'd love to talk to you more about this. Here's my card. I've got an informational page on there, which is my jot form page. And, you know, my ordering page. You know, if we've talked about the product, you know, like if I notice they're limping or something, you know, hey, you've got arthritis or whatever. But that way I go and say, well, here's my contact information. Would you be willing to give me your information and I'll send you some additional, you know, I'll send you my Ditto Touch or whatever to them. And that way I'm giving them my contact information and getting theirs.
Okay.
A lot of times people are willing.
This secret that you do, where you always have 3x5 cards in your purse, I have to say, Harlequin, this is why I asked you to come on the call when I saw this a few months back, right? That's such a basic thing, but are we doing it? And you do it, right? You've got these 3x5 cards all the time. And I just think it's so important for people to understand, to be prepared.
Now, one thing I will say, approaching somebody while you're standing in line or, you know, living your life basically, it can sometimes be a little bit of a challenge, but it's good practice.
Right.
What I also tend to do is I network in a lot of like business associations or chamber events and networking events. If you go online, you can look up, you know, sometimes it's the city, the state, or your local county, or even a town near you that has a business association. You know, in the area that I live in, I think there's like 15 of them. You know, between those different groups. I mean, we've got an East Cobb County, we've got a West Cobb County, and then like 5 cities in that county all have a business association. And they have, you know, networking events. Sometimes it can get a little bit pricey if you go and join all of them, but they'll usually let you come and attend a couple of events for free to check it out and see which one fits best with you.
So what's the secret there when you're going to one of these, you haven't paid yet, you're the new one arriving to the meeting. How do you get to them filling out your 3x5 card?
Well, one of the reasons why I go to the business association meetings is everyone that's there is there with the intent of meeting new people that are potential business partners for them or customers for them. and they know that everybody else is there coming to go and meet people and get new business, partners or customers. So everyone that's there has the same intention of going and meeting new people and getting contacts. So business associations are an excellent source because most of them are small business owners, so they get having to go out and build your own business from the ground up. A lot of them also understand how difficult it can be if you're starting a business on your own versus a network marketing company where you have a lot of the support and you're not having to manufacture and source the product, and you already have it there, and our main focus is selling the product and finding new distribution sources, basically. And a lot of them may be people who are, a lot of times you're going to find chiropractors and people in the wellness industry that are networking to go and find new clients. Chiropractors, they can sell the product in their practice, so they're a great resource. Massage therapists, all different types of industries, they go to those events trying to find new clients. And we have, in most cases, our clients may be the same people, so we can both market to the same people, and since we're both marketing, we're reaching double the numbers.
Right. So what I know is that with you is that you do focus on business owners, and I'm going to bring it back to the experience of this past weekend at the expo, that it was open to thousands who came through, but they weren't necessarily a demographic that was drawn to the iGalen message, let's say. So you actually got your leads from the other vendors, right? You made connections with the other business owners. You want to talk more about that?
A lot of times whenever I go to different events where I have a booth, I will always try and meet the other vendors there, because again, we're all trying to reach the same type of client base. And while I was there, I met someone who has a med spa that she's very interested in adding her product into her practice. Another person was a cosmetologist and hairdresser. Again, same thing, adding another product to her product line. And one of my team members went out and there was someone who had hyperbaric chambers, so he went and talked to him. But a lot of times whenever you're at an event, those other vendors are also, they're just like us. They're a small business, they're trying to build their business, and a lot of them have a type of business where our product would be a wonderful addition to what they're already offering, or they may not be very happy with where they are.
Right. So that's where you kind of stay with them in the conversation. That's because what I heard a little bit from some of these leads that you connected with, is you didn't start with the business. You started with how the product could help them with their health. Right. Yeah. And then you're letting it evolve.
Right. And the other thing is, just in general, as far as how I normally go about trying to find events to go to, there's a lot of different source or resources for that. You can go onto Facebook, and I know here in Georgia, there's probably 5 or 10 different Facebook groups where it's Georgia vendor events. So
Great
It's
stuff.
people who go in there and they are running events and they're looking for vendors, or it's vendors looking for events to go to. So that's a great resource. The one thing that I will tell you is make sure you vet the person that you sign up with.
And what do you mean by that?
There are a lot of scam artists out there that are like, oh, I'm going to have this big, huge event, and we're expecting 5,000 people, and we're charging $500 for the booth, and they collect your money and they never had the event scheduled.
Okay.
Take off with your money.
Okay, so yeah.
So that does happen a lot on those Facebook groups. Usually it'll happen once, maybe twice, and they will be kicked off the group, but then they'll go to the next group and they'll do the same thing, and they'll change their name on there or something like that. So make sure that you get references from some people for that person. And usually it's best if you can go to one of their events before you sign up. A couple of other places to look is Eventbrite. They have a lot of different events going on, but health fairs. There are some groups that go and run health fairs at different businesses, especially in the bigger cities. So anyways, you can try and do that as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, Harlequin.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to read Maureen's just because it's directly to you. And she writes,
pop up. I couldn't read it all.
I have had a very difficult time connecting with pharmacies, chiropractors, health food stores. They do not seem interested at all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong when I hear the other distributors are connecting with business owners, and yet I am not. One told me that it was having to train their staff on the products. What would you suggest? Do you have any suggestion for Maureen to just...
Okay, yeah, that's a good question, Maureen. On the pharmacies, I wouldn't go after them. Most of them are more into the drugs than the natural health supplements. But if they say that they don't want to have to train the staff, offer to do it for them.
Okay. So when they're bringing up objections, really hear them and then play with what solutions you could be offering.
Right.
For them.
And what you may want to do too is bring in somebody with you that may have a little bit more experience with it. I don't know how much experience she has working with that in that industry, but if you know somebody who is in that industry or has worked with people in that industry, you can bring them along with you, or do a three-way call with your upline who might have a little bit more experience in that arena. It's going to the chiropractors and that type of group. The health food stores can be a little bit difficult because they've got so many products.
Right.
But like a chiropractor or a naturopath, you have to know your product and you have to be able to answer the difficult questions, and they're going to want to see a lot of the detail, like the medical studies and things like that, and they are going to research it like crazy before they start to offer it to their clients.
Yeah.
The other thing is to schedule an appointment with them. Don't just try and walk in off the street and expect to spend time talking to them.
Okay. Thank you, Harlequin.